The clinic was quiet at midnight, a place meant for sterilized order and discreet treatments, not drama. Its lights hummed in dim corridors, the night nurse absent from her post on a short break. Through the fire escape, a black duffel appeared, lifted by steady hands, sliding over the sill. The intruder moved with discipline, no wasted motion, no noise. He ignored computers, drawers of patient forms, even cash in a petty lockbox. His eyes fixed on one shelf in the records room. From dozens of beige folders, his gloved hand selected one, a red folder stamped in clean block letters. Nothing else was taken. He zipped the duffel and vanished as quickly as he'd arrived, leaving only the faint swing of a window latch to mark his presence. Minutes later, a silent alarm tripped. Police cruisers converged without sirens, moving like sharks through still water. A block away, under the burnt orange glow of a sodium street lamp, one of the intruders faltered. He wasn't the one with the folder. This man ran jittery, desperate, a duffel bouncing on his shoulder, but lighter than expected. Officers cut him off in a narrow alley. Breathless, sweat dripping, he offered no resistance as cuffs locked around his wrists. From his pockets came a stolen clinic ID card, used to bypass doors, and a small toolkit, tension wrench, picks, a flashlight with tape on the lens. Tools of a trade, but not the prize. The missing folder's absence became clear by morning. It belonged to someone with standing, someone people recognized from billboards, charity galas, and political dinners. A name whispered in the city's better restaurants. Rumors started quickly. The folder might contain experimental treatment notes, perhaps test results, or undisclosed medical conditions. Things reputations depended on. Inside the station's gray interview room, the captured thief sat in silence. He refused offers of water, cigarettes, leniency. Hours passed until he spoke a single thing, a name. Not a real name, but the alias of his partner. A ghost in the system, an urban echo the detectives had heard before. That was all. Then the wall of silence returned. Elsewhere, in a quiet suburban home, a family of 4 opened their mail. Among bills and coupons was a thick envelope with no return address. Inside was a single photograph, an image of their patriarch, seated in a clinic chair, a date scrawled across the bottom corner. The sight hollowed the room. Forks clattered onto plates, dinner abandoned. Panic rippled in the air like a dropped glass. At the station, the captured thief was finally moving. Given paper and pencil, he began to draw the clinic's layout. Halls, fire escapes, camera placements. But on the upper floor, where a discreet stairwell led to a locked door, his pencil hovered. Then he drew a blank wall instead. An omission, deliberate. Secrets folded inside secrets. The thief on the run knew time was running out. He reached for the one person who might still trust him, a former lover, someone scarred by his past but unwilling to turn away. His message was simple. Keep it hidden. He handed over the red folder sealed inside a plastic sleeve, instructing her to never open it, though the temptation weighed in the air like perfume. Meanwhile, investigators followed digital smoke. Offshore bank transfers appeared in obscure accounts linked to construction crews, demolition firms, repair contractors with no storefronts. Fix-it men paid for silence and for removing traces. It was the kind of trail that blurred the line between crime and service industry, between necessary evil and moral collapse. The pressure climbed until a federal judge, drawn reluctantly into the fray, signed a sealed warrant. The kind used when reputations, not just laws, were at stake. Back in the holding cell, the captured thief weighed silence against survival. In whispered tones with his lawyer, he began to bargain. If immunity was possible, he'd talk. He would reveal floor plans, routines, and even pieces of what the folder contained, not the whole, but enough to weaponize. Truth emerged in fragments. Rumors hardened into facts, reshaping the reputations of those who had once appeared untouchable. The man on the run had no intention of staying quiet. He staged his reveal carefully. At midnight, in a public square, a live stream went up. His face pixelated, voice distorted. The red folder was no longer hidden. He released one photograph, one report, enough to collapse the privacy of a powerful family. The city woke to whispers, then headlines. What had begun as a burglary ended as a fracture in public trust. For the clinic's director, dragged suddenly before cameras, there was no way to deny. The only option left was to answer a single question, trembling in its simplicity. What else are you hiding? The city did not erupt. It did not revolt. Instead, it rearranged itself with cold discretion. Some lives cracked open, forced to live in a new truth. Others tightened shutters, doubling down on secrecy. The clinic's name remained etched on its frosted glass doors, but whispers followed anyone who walked through them. One thief rotted in custody, bargaining his days away. The other lived like smoke, unseen, the truth in his possession now weaponized and spent. A red folder had become the key to a dozen locked rooms. And once the lock had turned, nothing could be shut again.